What up, everybody? It's your boy, it's your man, Dirty C, and tonight I am super pumped to be talking about Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. Oh yeah, we're gonna break down the story, gameplay, and performance before throwing down our almighty judgment of buy, sell, or ditch. Of course, don't forget to like, sub, and comment down below. Without further ado, let's get into it. Story. Crisis Core serves as a prequel and backstory for some of the most iconic Final Fantasy VII characters. Playing as up-and-coming soldier Zack after being seemingly betrayed by our friend and mentor Angeal, we team up with Sephiroth to hunt down both him and fellow soldier Genesis. What ensues is a heartfelt story about friendship and loyalty. The story has enough twists and turns to keep it interesting, but overall relies on your connection with the Final Fantasy VII world in order for the player to be fully engaged. Cameo after cameo of some of Final Fantasy VII's characters made the story's pacing feel even and kept me hooked throughout my 20 or so hour experience with the game. But players who aren't familiar with the lore and basic setup of Final Fantasy VII will feel a little left out in the cold here. A significant amount of the story's impact will be lost simply due to not knowing who these characters are and their implications for showing up when they do. Hell, even teaming up with Sephiroth made me feel a little uncomfortable, a feeling that will be totally lost on players if they don't know any of the previously told story. Crisis Core's story is good, even if it does stumble a little bit in the third act, but it is absolutely essential to have played the base Final Fantasy VII game to fully empathize with the story's impact. Gameplay. The core hack-and-slash style gameplay of Crisis Core is essentially split into two categories. Players can choose to focus on the main story route, which just covers Zack's adventures, or players can take on optional side missions that act as errands, helping the people of Midgard. The gameplay loop in Crisis Core is wildly addictive. The combat mechanics, though somewhat basic at times, are purely addictive, and some battles can get pretty challenging. However, my one main gripe is the game's balancing. The way the side missions are set up make them incredibly quick to rip through, and there are tons of them. If you get lost doing side mission after side mission for a couple of hours and then jump into the story, you will be absurdly overpowered. Like, insanely. Like, really, really overpowered. I found big emotional story beats that were clearly meant to be stressful combat moments turn into 2 or 3 shot joke fights that were over in less than 10 seconds. I get that ultimately players have the choice to grind out side missions at their own pace, but to me, at least it just felt like the balancing was tipped just a little too far in the player's favor. Performance. I played Crisis Core on PS5 and had 0 issues. However, some design choices really confused me. The game is set up that going into new areas requires a loading screen. Very rarely are areas big enough to let players fight through them without having any loading screen interruptions. Now, I understand this is a remake/remaster of an old PSP game, but you would think the devs would take advantage of some of the current gen technology to limit the numerous loading screens. Furthermore, Crisis Core offered 0 performance options. This was fine, as the game ran just fine and it looked great, But I can't help but think that the powerful tech that the current generation of consoles has to offer went wildly underutilized with this game. I really enjoyed my time with Crisis Core. It was a good mix of action, hack-and-slash gameplay, and a solid adventure with some of our favorite Final Fantasy VII characters. The gameplay is wildly addictive and offers a total gameplay experience of 80 or so hours for completionists. So there's a lot of video game here to get sucked into for hours. However, with a story that relies heavily on previous lore familiarity, an unbalanced combat experience, and no performance options, I can't, in good faith, recommend paying full price for this game. So, it is without further ado that I lay down the almighty judgment of sale. Crisis Core is fun. And if you're a big fan of Final Fantasy VII and the world it creates, then completely ignore my advice and pick it up. But if you're new to this story, if you're new to this world, if you're new to these characters, you might want to check out the Final Fantasy VII Remake first and wait for Crisis Core to hit the sale rack. Alright everybody, I really hope this helped you make a financial decision. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace, everybody.